Well, it may be a cliche, but there's plenty of truth in the big versus little cliche itself. Few come bigger and more imposing than Courtney Lawes. His impact off the bench against New Zealand was outstanding, notwithstanding that controversial offside. Jones will want a similar impact today. For Japan, their main man is a foot shorter, but capable of equally significant impact. Fumiaki Tanaka is the man who controls the pace of the Japanese game, renowned for the speed of his pass and the accuracy of his decision-making. He's been at the helm of Japanese rugby for many years. Get to him and you throw the spanner into this Japanese team's works.
Referee is Paul Williams of New Zealand. His first international as lead official on this ground, and ditto these Japanese players. And also for England, Joe Thokonas-Singer. He's going to be part of his first Twickenham experience in England colours, albeit change colours, on the way to 17 stone and ready to unleash the kind of attacks that not so long ago thrilled London Irish fans and now giving pleasure to Bath supporters. England looking to show their depth. Japan, well, they're not just the World Cup hosts, but serious players at their own party too next year.
Okay, when you're happy, good to go, mate. Go up.
Captain Ford will start the match. And the players could not have asked for better conditions. Dry, cool and crisp.
Tackle!
Tanaka's first pass. And Japan's first run. And Fukuoka up the left wing. Care for England. And first touch for Thokonas-Singer. Ford, bit of space here. Ashton was calling. It's Harry Williams getting his start. He's been patient. This is his 14th cap. Care. Ford. Lawes again. Now Ashton does get the touch. Ford again. It's good this for the England team. Plenty of players getting an early touch. It's Mark Wilson wearing 7 this week, trying to show his versatility across that England back row and what a contribution he's made this autumn. Alec Hepburn back as a starter as he was against South Africa. Wilson again. Oh, that's strong from Itoje. Lazowski. Ford to Knoll as a centre, his first start for England in the number 13 shirt. Care. Ford. Japan held their line well. A couple of occasions looked to be lacking numbers in defence when it went very wide, but restructured and held out. Inagaki, the loose head prop with that drive.
A lot of ball in hand in these first couple of minutes, isn't there? Both teams keeping a lot of pace on it, and that'll suit Japan. That's what they'll want. England, I think, they're going to test themselves at pace as well this afternoon.
Tamura with a kick. Japan do kick a lot, but it's because they want it to come back at them. And it is coming back at them in the shape of Thokonas-Singer and George. And here's Care. He had a look, but he'll back his pace for Danny Care. Yes, they're looking for the lack of structure, Japan, but England also want that kind of ball to impose their style on the opposition. And Danny Kerr goes in for yet another international try.
Lovely counter-attacking play. Daly does ever so well there. England experimenting with him. It's his third straight game at full-back. His decision to go from infield back to the narrow field opened up Japan. They didn't expect this ball. Singer does ever so well there. George links well and Kerr in for the pace. But the key is when Daly gets that ball, the obvious pass is to go infield. But Daly draws them in and he goes back wide. And that's trademark Singer. Loves to take that ball in one hand, draws people. Lovely pass there. Jamie George, such a good footballer. Not the perfect pass, but Danny Kerr's under no pressure. How many times have we seen that? A lovely counter-attacking try from England.
And the captain has a chance to make it 7. And all that ball in hand bears fruit for the home side early on. Ford's kick sails through. It is 7-0.
Ford could have a bit of fun today, you know. He's getting the ball through his hands. But here, Elliot Daly, watch this. Easy thing. Let's look infield. He goes in and then he pulls it back. And that's where Japan are weak. That's where it's exposed. Australia, arch advocates of that. England showing that it's not just a Southern Hemisphere speciality. Super score from the home team.
Yu Tamura will restart. Japanese fly half with his 50th cap in the summer against Georgia. Impressive win for Japan, 28-0. Also around that time they shared a series against Italy, 1 apiece. And they will get a put into the scrum here. Of course, at the last World Cup, Japan winning 3 pool matches. But it still wasn't enough to get them out of the pool. First side to win 3 games in the pool and actually not end up in the quarter-final stage.
Didn't make the quarter-finals, Miles, but you could argue that outside of New Zealand, they were the team of the tournament. With England going so badly in 2015, that Japanese win in Brighton lit up the tournament, and it meant people who weren't even rugby fans were going to stay with it. It still remains the greatest shock in Test match rugby, and I think it was the game that gave Eddie Jones the opportunity to really come back into the big time.
And there's the man Michael Leach who made the call to go for the try at the end and not try and engineer the draw with the kick.
And fair dues to that man, Eddie Jones. He could have just kept stum about it, but he admitted afterwards, didn't he? He said, I'd have taken a draw against South Africa. He vowed Japan would give them a game. Leach took it even further. Incredible match.
Stability by Black. Stability by Black. 1 across.
It's all coming my way. We need to shore this side up, please.
Referee just wants to settle the scrum down.
Shore that side up. Yeah. Nice and square.
Very interesting. Japan, they're using Fukuoka to put the ball in. I didn't see Tanaka go off.
He's not got it.
There he is. So very interesting. Their speedster is put it in, and their scrum half, he's in the shotgun position.
It all leads to a free kick.
Back 10.
7, okay. Advantage 7, not back to 10.
Back in
That's
position
fine,
as scrum
picked up,
half, but he's
gone
not allowed to
again.
play it because Hevano takes it on. There is Tanaka. And again, Ishikawa.
Is over from that.
Tanaka. Fukuoka back on the wing. With a couple of tries against Scotland at Murrayfield a few years ago. Japan pile in, look for a quick ball. It's been denied to them by Mark Wilson, not rolling away, so it's a penalty advantage here.
Still have the advantage for 7
For
black,
Japan.
not rolling.
Tanaka again. Well, the offload from Tamura doesn't quite work. Momentum is lost,
Still
but
have
the
the
ball
advantage,
didn't go forward. Van der Walt. Pick up by Yamada. This is good. Short side is Tanaka again. He'll look over the shoulder, but there's only one man there. The support is to his left.
You've gone straight into your own player.
And then
We're
the
coming back. No advantage.
offside created by Japan, so their advantage period comes to an end.
Black.
Mark Wilson, the man penalised.
And you wouldn't be surprised if it's not the last time England get penalised. What you can't do against Japan is allow Tanaka and co to get a really quick ball. And that's what happened in Brighton in 2015. England are intent on slowing down. Jamie George there, just look at the position he's in. He doesn't actually do anything to slow down Yamada, who burst really well there. But there's no doubt at all, England, they're not necessarily trying to win every ball at the turnover, but they're trying to slow Japan down. And Japan, as is vogue now, they go for more than 3 points.
Don't close the gap. Don't close the gap.
Look at the hooker there. He's coming back now onto the touchline.
Sakate resists the temptation to encroach. He goes long and finds his captain. And Japan bringing the backs as England did against New Zealand last week.
Seven black.
Long
From
blast
beside
from
the
referee
ball.
Williams
Where
again.
you are, come back in field.
Just wait. 7 black. Clear maul. Offside.
Mark Wilson
Our
again.
defence is about
2
8
penalties
metres
against him in the
infield
first
ball.
9 minutes.
Yeah.
Not all penalties
Keep
this
coming,
close to the
8
try
metres,
line,
keep
though,
coming, keep
are
coming,
ill
keep
discipline
coming, keep
penalties.
coming back,
Sometimes
keep
you
coming
just
back.
think
Okay.
we've got to stop the drive.
Even if it goes over the 15, when it becomes a maul, there's still offside lines.
Always impresses me, Miles. Japan, it's the same in the World Cup. They are utterly unafraid when they're 5 metres out in going for the throw to the tail and opening up the field for them.
Hold the space. Hold the space.
Decision time
Don't
again
close
at this
it.
line out. Sakate. Shota Hori is not on this tour and with Super Rugby experience, the hooker, but Sakate therefore has a chance to put down his marker. All of these players so desperate to be part of the home World Cup squad. Sustained pressure now from Japan.
Advantage. 10 black. Not rolling.
Another penalty. This time it's George Ford. Fukuoka, and he's going. Chris Ashton hauls him to the ground. Leach has got there quick. That was a lovely little pass. And Tamura is just driven into touch.
It's great work from Jamie George there, really is. George involved in one try, saves one there. Tremendous play. Michael Leach, that was the most subtle of little touches there. Ashton makes a good lasso of a tackle. Look at Leach now, soft as you like. And George, that is a try saver.
And this right in front of the post. What's the decision here? Must be so tempting to go for the 3.
It's not really the Japan way, is it? But
Scrub.
But it's still not.
Michael Leach, if you played Bragg against him, you would have to be very careful because he's a man prepared to gamble.
There's too much coming from that
Jamie
side.
Joseph there, old adversary of mine through the years. Used to coach the Highlanders, does a very good job now with Japan.
Of course, Leach has experience with the Chiefs in Super Rugby.
Keep going, boys.
Crouch.
What a lovely pass that was. Nearly led to the score in the corner. Jamie George
Hold there.
keeping Japan out on that occasion. Fukuoka back in the scrum half position.
Well, they've gone for their quick man. It's almost as if you get a strike one, he can go. It's fascinating what they're doing there. And they've got their best passer just lurking behind. They love little wrap-round balls as well. You see quite often with Japan, fast ball in, one out, and then a little loop ball round.
Search. Bye. Set.
Jamie Joseph promised to come with ideas, and we're seeing one. Use of the winger as scrum half.
You're putting your feet back too early, okay? That's why we're completely off balance.
Not just
you need to wait for the
occasionally, it
bite before you
seems.
put that foot back. Understand?
It's great to see innovation, isn't it? I mean, Japan can't come to Twickenham and beat a side of England's bulk and power just by going toe-to-toe and playing orthodox rugby. So Joseph's team, they're looking for ways to just change the game.
Tony Brown alongside Jamie Joseph there. Another player with so much Super Rugby experience. New Zealand and also now Japan. John Plumtree of the Hurricanes have been working as defensive coach last few weeks. Fukuoka just can't keep his feet.
Fine, ball was out.
Ball out and fair game for vice-captain Itoje. Chair throws out a long pass to Lazowski. Taken by Yamada, who's popped up in the left wing position. Kuji-won with the drive. Short pass from Nakamura. Tanaka back at scrum half in open play.
Oh, that's good from Lazowski.
He really does tackle hard, doesn't he, as Will was saying in the build-up.
Tackle was made. You must release.
England, though, conceding penalties here, lots of them.
Yeah, I mean, I say early on in the game, Miles, I think when it's 5 metres out from the try line, you can understand it. But when you've got your inside centre dominating the tackle, as Lazowski does there, then England have got to be better than that. Now is there as well. The two centres have done a really good job. And with Japan retreating at that pace, it should be them conceding the penalty, not England. That was a considerable error, I think, from England there.
Well, here's a decision. Japan have now decided to go for the kick. They're in front of the post moments ago.
Well, I guess they're thinking they're closer to scoring a try there. The kick is admittedly about 25 times more difficult now, but he strikes a decent ball, doesn't he?
He does. 171 international points. He was on the bench in that famous South Africa game. Now he's got the main role, the starting playmaker. Told to run the show. Keep kicking those points as well. And he's got it. And Japan onto the ball. Not the try that they wanted, but they walk away from the England half with the points. We go to the gain line, and it's Maggie.
So we've seen Jamie George make a try-saving tackle, but now I just want to focus on him leading up to this try. Just look at the circle on him. He just focuses on keeping his position, doesn't run back like most forwards would do, waiting for the opportunity to come to him. And it's him who leads up to this try. He just hangs back, and look at the quick hands there. That's what England want to see from their forwards, being involved in every loose bit of play.
Jules just making sure it didn't roll forward. It was very close. Care. Zach Mercer, that cameo second half against South Africa. What an impressive performance it was. His first cap. That's high from forward, really high. It's well claimed by Tupou. Played centre against New Zealand, full back today.
No.
Tanaka needs protection there. It's only just over 11 stone. And he's really light for an international rugby player these days, the scrum half. His deputy, Yutaka Nagari, on the bench is very similar weight and height. Here's Daly. Ford. Trying to open up down that channel. Fucking Singer sets off again. That's what he does. Itoje. Jack Knoll.
Tackle!
Get plenty of chances to have his hands on the ball at 13. Knoll. Ford. Nearly bounced its way back to the chasing Thokida Singer. who's showing exactly why he's exciting everybody.
And it's not just doing the flash things. That's great play there, winning that restart. He gets the ball in the loose, and this man, he's one of these guys, he's a deceptive 17 stone, because he actually looks about 2 stone bigger than that. And he hits hard, doesn't he? Tremendous start to his career. He's had a role in a try, his restart work excellent, and in the loose there, very powerful. This young man will be delighted with that start.
A wonderful finish in the Premiership as well this season. Through the Japanese hands and through the legs as well. Fukuoka sets off again. That's exciting rugby. The winger is checked, he's looking for the decision, but the officials having none of it. He needs to get back to his feet because England regrew.
It's quick, Fukuoka, isn't he? Really quick. Burnt George Ford there.
And strong too.
Stay onside.
Up from Kerr. Ashton just checks out of the jump in the end, and Poe does England a favour by losing control of the ball. It's advantage, and Williams takes advantage. Here's Kerr. Ford, Lazowski floats it out. Anticipation rises from the crowd as Twickenham gets it.
The pass was just a little bit too flighted, though. He took it static, and that enabled Japan to force him infield.
It's quite good static, though, isn't he?
Yeah, no,
Interception. Yamada. Oh, and he's got it inside. Nakamura gets it back to Leach. And George is there again. Covers the ground well, the England hooker. Even though the penalty's conceded, his presence was important. Also, Noel.
England could be very lucky if they don't get an early yellow card. Picked off intercept here. This is superb little offload there. And George off his feet, and I think he has to go here. Lovely footwork there. Sucks 2 men in, and George, as I said, he has to go, and he is going. There's no doubt about that. You know, that is pretty close to being an automatic yellow card, but on top of the 3 penalties that England have conceded that close to the line, he has to go. It's a good decision from the Kiwi official.
Yeah, he took one for the team there as Jamie George, off his feet to prevent any advance in that attack, and into the sin bin. 5-0 the penalty count.
Well, Japan are playing some very nice rugby, and Eddie Jones, I don't think he'll be wildly worried about the penalty count, because as I said, sometimes you're in parts of the field where you've got to concede them. It's been a trait of New Zealand rugby for a long time. But all this stems back to that Lazowski tackle where England gave the penalty away there. You know, they haven't got themselves back in the game since. Great chance for Japan, extra man.
Sakate throws, and in goes Charlie Ulls. Kerr can't control it. And England have carried that over.
Backwards off England.
Who won it.
5 attacking ball is all I've got.
Yeah, it was. Danny Kerr, I think, will be disappointed here.
England.
But second row does a really good job. This ball pops up. He takes his eye off the ball. He's just thinking, what's on? You can see here, Yules gets that right hand to it. Beats Hamino there. And just for a split second, Kerr looks up. It wobbles, and it's a chance for Japan.
England require a hooker.
Yep.
That man, of course, will be Dylan Hartley, 96th cap. For the co-captain with Owen Farrell. On the bench, the team captain for the day, and the vice-captain there, Maritoji, team captain George Ford. Hartley comes on. Don't think he'll be assuming leadership at this point, though.
No, he might think it's incumbent upon him to dominate this scrum, though. He's had a few more than most of the blokes around him.
Mercer, the man who has to make way. And Tanaka is in at scrum half here. And he's played for Otago and the Highlanders, working with Tony Brown there, of course. All of the Japan starting 15 with the Sunwolves in Super Rugby.
Interesting again, Japan have got 20 metres blindside and they've got nobody in it there, leaving England with 2 men there.
No. Time off, come to me. Front rows come. Listen, we've already had a pre-engage, early push on this side. That one there, it looked as though you guys went, but I'm not too sure whether you guys pulled out, okay? We just need stability. That's all we need, okay? We come together, we hit and we hold. That's it. Let's go. A bit louder. I'll do what I can.
Michael Leach, of course, not one of the front rows, but he will act as interpreter there. Moved to Japan at the age of 15.
Crouch! 5, 6.
20 unexposed metres of green grass at Twickenham.
It's back quickly with Tanaka, and there is Nakamura! It is a first try in a capped international at Twickenham for Japanese rugby, and they have made a really dynamic start.
Well, they had most of the territory, they've had a lot of the possession, and they have utilised the extra man superbly well there. I think it's George Ford who doesn't make the tackle. It's quick ball. It's just brilliant service there from Tanaka, and George Ford, you can see he's frustrated here. Super quick service. Nakamura, fast line. George Ford has to make that tackle. By the time Jack Noel gets there, it's way too late.
His tackle from Lazowski there, and his opposite number, Ryoto Nakamura. Can play fly half, can play first receiver, but there, showing the power coming through in his centre position as well. And underneath the posts for a special moment for his team, and Tamura with the conversion. Simple as that, and Japan into a thoroughly deserved lead of 10-7.
No argument there. Tanaka's pass is so quick though, straight to his inside centre, little step there, and yep, it's Lazowski there, misses his man, and that is a great moment for Japan, and on the balance of 22 minutes, as you say, thoroughly deserved. It's not Brighton yet, but it's interesting.
It's certainly all action, and that is Japan. Here's Leach. And Japan again from their own 22. Fukuoka has to kick in the end, and even that is beautifully judged.
A lovely play from Japan. And once again, that little ability to just roll the ball around. You see it here. It's a sweet ball. One Japanese runner, 2 Englishmen, and that's why Fukuoka gets that 5 metres or so of space, because he's able to draw Lazowski there and Wilson, and there's your space, and it's a tremendous kick from the winger, who not only is very quick, he's got a good kicking foot as well.
Terrific work from Nishikawa in midfield there to create the roll around. Hartley staying on during this sin-bin period, good stretch from the Toje.
That is a hell of a line-out take. It was gone, and then suddenly he just propelled himself up again.
Work from Hepburn.
Use now, 9.
Cat.
Tackle!
Tanaka. Inagaki. Tanaka again. There's try scorer Nakamura.
Advantage to Black.
He's gone forward. Goes Care quickly. He's desperate to get that ball.
A million miles away again, were they, Japan? They really are causing England some problems there on this game line. This game is being played at a fair old pace, and I think it's definitely suiting Japan more than England at the moment. Early on in the game, we saw a Toje with a very big carry, but I think one from Harry Williams. Then you think, which English forwards have been carrying the ball? Who's been driving into the heart of Japan and putting them under pressure defensively? It's not been happening. Japan have controlled the ball, territory, possession, and with it, the game.
Man who's in charge of Japan at the last World Cup, and the next World Cup, their home World Cup. Michael Leach's team will face Russia on the opening night.
You guys just come off that paint, just come over to here.
And then Ireland, Scotland, also in that pool. Samoa too.
Just going to pop over the side. Just changing the sides there.
Natty cap that Tony Brown wears, doesn't he? Outstanding player for the Highlanders, where of course Tanaka was understudy to Aaron Smith for lots of the time. Tony Brown, he was frustrated by Andrew Mertens, I think it's fair to say, for much of his career. Very smart player though.
Red, red, red. Loses his point. In and down.
Well, as Japan have been penalised, scrum was on the move.
Just hadn't found a way, really, England, to impose a set piece upon Japan. The game has been very fluid, and the fluidity has helped the visitors. And Elliot Daly is going to get out the 9-iron for him. A mere half the length of the field. Chip that one.
Yeah, a little clip onto the green for Elliot Daly. Terrific kick to touch as well last week, which really put England in a superb attacking position against New Zealand. Such an asset for any side to have a long-range kicker like Elliot Daly. Turns these moments into potential points.
It's a great testimony to Japan, isn't it? 27 minutes in, England get a penalty on the halfway line, and they are going for 3 points. When you think last week against New Zealand they were going for tries, here they're looking for the 3-pointers.
Daly, what's he like this time? Absolutely perfect is the answer. Maggie.
What's impressed me so far is the way the forwards have been eating up the space. If we look here, Mark Wilson, he's calling for the ball, that one-out rugby, getting over the gain line. And then again, if you look at the back there, Maritoji looks for the ball, again, eating up the ground, breaking those tackles. That's what we want to see from the England forwards.
It's a nice line from Itoje. Wilson, you can actually see, just faded away a bit. That Itoje line there, the key to that, if you look at his footwork when he takes the ball, he's coming in and he's holding Japanese players, and that can in time create space wider, and that brings the backs into the game. And that was a lovely early run.
Laws. Care. Had touch on his mind as well.
Well, no messing about there. It's a decent kick. He throws that ball back to his fly half. You know, it's a long way for four to go. That's a decent kick from the Harlequin.
Sakate going short at the front. And a bit of innovation there from Japan. Trying to catch England unawares. Tanaka.
Backwards. No.
Leach, good hands again from the captain. Born in Christchurch, New Zealand, Fijian mother.
Not now.
And he's home now, and has been for a long time. Japan. Tamura, good pick-up from him. A little chip here for Fukuoka. Jack Noel has to get back quickly to make the tackle there. Japan's main danger man in the back line. England know that. Carry from Helu.
That was a lovely chip from Nakamura. Just dead weight on that.
Showing those fly half skills to Poe. Fukuoka takes it down well. Tanaka. Van der Vault. Nakamura again, good feed to Sakate. Nakamura ships it on, but a good decision from Thokinasiga to come in, but that's good strength from Yamada in reply. Leach. Oh, that's good strength from Leach, and Leach is going on. He might go all the way here, sidestep. A year out from their World Cup. And Japan are really turning on here. At the home of the side that hosted the last one. Michael Leach scored against South Africa in 2015, and now he has a Twickenham try as well.
It's beautiful work by the inside centre, who came up with a lovely reverse pass, playing a superb game, Nakamura, but Leach absolutely exquisite. There's the pass there, much fluidity from Japan. We've said that before, we've used that word, and there's good reason for it. Leach scores the try that Underhill, another back rower, didn't. There's no going back for this one. The back rower with the sidestep.
Hey. Are you telling him to get up? Oh.
England can't stop the offload, and with that, Leach just bursts off the right foot. Danny Kerr has got to be disappointed with that tackle. He misses his man, Harry Williams. He's the last line, and Michael Leach has given Japan a very deserved lead again. Just throwing in a step for Elliot Daly to boot.
Some finish, isn't it? Missed tackles, yes, but what a finish from Michael Leach.
Oh, I think, you know, the Daly sidestep is absolutely gorgeous. And Jamie Joseph, every right to be delirious. Eddie Jones will have every right to be a bit disappointed with Danny Kerr's tackle.
You're absolutely right to point out the pass from Lafaeli to Fukuoka that kept it going on this near side. And a conversion for Tamura. Costly sin bin spell now for England. This for 17 to 10. It won't be, stays 15-10. Clive Woodward watching on. What are you thinking, Clive?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm glad I'm not inside in Eddie Jones's seat at the moment. It's interesting, Japan are playing wide. It's great to watch. The skill level's fantastic, and they thoroughly deserve their lead. Just think back a week ago, England started off so well against the All Blacks by just playing the real power game that Maggie referred to in her clips there. And I think we just got to play a lot more direct at the moment. We're trying to play like Japan, and it's just not working. We just got to get some 1-2 players off the ruck and really get the power game, and then we can do the flash stuff later on. But you have to say Japan are well worth this lead, and no amount of skill going into this at the moment.
Clive, would you say that it's the players, the management? What's the reason England have got sucked in to a game plan that just doesn't suit them on a day like this?
No, I agree. Well, it's what you do on the training ground, Stuart. You know, this is where these games are important, because you can take on what you do in the training ground onto the pitch. And the way to play Japan, especially the first 30 minutes, is not to play wide, because these guys are fit, they're strong, they're very good at the breakdown, as we're seeing at the moment. And we've just fallen into a bit of a trap here, and we've got a bit of a hole to get out of now, but they've got to just play a lot more direct than they're playing at the moment.
2 weeks ago, Japan conceded 69 to what was in large part a second-string New Zealand side, but they did score 31 in reply. It's got some beautiful tries as well. 5 tries in that game, 2 in this one already. Jimeno takes it on. Was he held? He's lost it forward. No doubt about that bit.
By the first one by Black.
First one from England. Japan will keep possession of the ball, and they've had a lot of it in the first half.
Well, these are great bonuses for Japan, because, you know, they aren't the biggest, they're not the tallest team in the world, and they're winning aerial battles as well. You know, we said England haven't been able to impose the power on the game. They haven't been able to bring it to the set piece. And you think back to Ashton's try against New Zealand, the one-out carriers, the little pop ball from Sinclair. It was all playing narrow 15-metre channels, and England are stretching, and because they're stretching, they're getting stretched.
Chris Ashton off. Henry Slade on. Jack Knoll back to his wing position.
I mean, look at that, Miles. 57% of the game has been in the England half, and it's been quick, dangerous stuff from Japan. Credit to them, they've been superb.
Pulling down loose head.
Quick tap and go here. Nakamura again, who's had a big part to play in this first half. Tanaka. And it's Helu. Inagaki, formerly of the Melbourne Rebels. So all of them now
Good
with
work,
the
Black.
Sunwolves in this starting Japanese 15. Getting that Super Rugby exposure, which is taking Japan on another level. Elliot Daly. Oh, he's flying after this, Daly. Fukuoka tries to cut his line. Tamura with the ball.
That was really nice, easy play there from Tamura. The fly half got himself back. He just swooped on that ball. If he fumbles that, Japan are in trouble. But they're just very calm at the moment, aren't they? Good play from Daly. Daly has spotted the space, and there is a lot of space. But just watch Tamura now. He's not sprinting. He's controlled and composed there. Beats the first man in that situation. If you don't meet the first man, you're in trouble. Daly's come in hard at him. Daly makes this tackle, then Japan are in a whole lot of bother. But Tamura is aware of things. He's not rushing things. Beats his man, and that enables Japan to just get the front foot there. And you can see there, lovely scooped pickup. There it is. And because he beats Daly, that means his mates can actually get in a position to win that penalty.
This time last year, Japan got a draw against France. And towards half-time in front here against England. Meno again, and he just isn't held, and he goes on. England in danger of giving away another penalty. Get another warning from the referee. Missed out Leach that time to give it to Tamura. Out the side he goes from Tapo to Yamada. Ball out, England pile through. Japan protected in the end. Van der Walt. Good work at the breakdown again by Japan.
Oh.
Nakamura. Given backwards this time by Charlie Yaws. George goes in. Kujiwon is acting halfback here, the tight head prop, so it's a rumble. Stepping ability to get out of the tackle is impressive as well from Japan here. Managed to avoid contact superbly in a tight space. Tanaka to Tamura, and then on it goes. And on go Japan with Yamada. Leach coming in again. Leach! Inside it comes. Henry Slade is there. England right on their own line once more here. Michael Leach nearly had another. And being driven here and taken over their own line. Japan will put in.
Lovely play again. Superb hands there. Three men in a 5 metre space, really good there. Leach heading for the try line. Great offloading we're seeing time and again. Tapu there, very good at Leach. That's a very good tackle. Lazowski missed one, but he spelled out England there. 15-10, and you would have to say Japan probably deserve a little bit more. Cracking try. The tackle here is superb from Lazowski. And Slade is back in the right place, but he can't get out of that 5 metre line.
Agonising that time for Michael Leach. Line so close, he just couldn't stretch to get there.
But you know, Japan have already scored. They've carved straight through England's midfield for a try, not far from here. It's quick as this game has gone on as well. Tanaka's ball has been quicker and quicker, and they're just picking up the momentum of the game. And England are looking very, very rattled. And I think in the second half, the likes of Sinclair, Hartley, and the bigger scrummaging Moon England need to get them on Underhill and start just imposing themselves.
It's across the board from Japan when you're looking at excellent first-half performances, but Nakamura and Lafa-Elliott, the centre combination, they're stepping, they're offloading, their power and pace.
Outstanding, Miles, and wherever they are, their skipper Leach is not far behind. I wonder whether we'll see Farrell at fly half start of the second half, just to try and give it a bit more structure. Ford has enjoyed himself passing wide, but that has not been the way.
Play the ball.
Jimeno pulls it back in. It was in danger of shooting out the base there. There is Nakamura again as first receiver. He scored previously doing that. Jimeno once more comes back towards his colleagues. Tanaka tries to line them up again for one last effort as the clock is about to go red. And it's the men in red and white who've been dominant in this first half. Nakamura. So much of the play has been Japanese. Jimeno is popping up absolutely everywhere. England flying in with some desperate tackles here. They just won half time.
Yep, ball's there.
They're in a hole, and it's a hole of Japan's making. Credit to the visitors, they're playing superbly.
Oh, fly half. Tamura wasn't looking there.
Dreaming of his cup of tea in the tunnel. What a let-off.
Yeah, England look to go with Ford. They want something before half-time, maybe the lead if they...
Yeah, it's time.
Produce something remarkable from their own 22. No, Kerr says that is it. We'll settle to trail at this stage. And nobody in this ground will have any other view than Japan deserve this half-time lead.
Excellent performance from Japan, quite naive from England. I wonder what Eddie Jones will be thinking about substitutions pretty early in the second half, maybe.
And Japan making changes too, 3 of them. Nise is on, Nunamaki, both of those into the pack. Nagare is on at scrum half, and Farrell for England with Lazowski off. Tanaka, Helu and Nishikawa off for Japan.
Look at that, first time England get the ball, what do they do? They just drive it 7 metres. 8-9.
Danny Kerr's kick. Tupou runs it back. He joined the line out against New Zealand. Just shows the way Japan think. We've seen plenty of that in the first half. Farrell's kick. He is well judged. He was a little bit worried, I think. But it's given England excellent field position here at the start of the second period.
Yeah, a little bit of relief for England there. Certainly the covering Japanese defender was saying it's out on the full, but England now in the 22. But it's a Japanese line-out that's functioned pretty well so far. It's going to be fascinating now. Ford and Farrell in harmony to see if they can just sort out England's wayward tactics.
Brought away by Nakamura again. Did that so well in the opening period. Daly. Seems a long time since England started the match so well, though. Flying into a 7-0 lead. Ford, Farrell. Reunited at 10 and 12, or 22. Number 23, Henry Slade, came on for Chris Ashton in the first half. Aratoje, Kerr, Ford, Williams driven backwards. That man Nakamura again. Fukuoka. Good feet.
Tackle!
And strength. Nagare gets to touch the scrum half and feeds into midfield, and the drive is good. Nagare again. Tamura. And it's back with Sakate.
Again, they're winning the aerial battles.
Tackle
It's
off the
incredible.
ball, yes.
Concede the penalty, but you know, England issues in the back three as well. Japan, when they're putting that ball up, they're getting their hands there and winning the ball.
George Ford, it's Maggie Alfonsi on the gain line. Maggie.
Yeah, half-time we talked about England needs to be more physical and dominant at the breakdown. Let's look at Maritoji, comes in straight away, imposes his dominance and gets a turnover. If England can keep doing that in the second half, I really do think they'll get more of an advantage into this game.
Fucking a singer. Care. Need to check again because the rush was good. Nunamaki. New man into the back row. Care. Courtney Law supported by Toje. Ford and Farrell. Out the side to Jack Noel. Jack Noel gets a little bit of head start there.
No hands, rock.
Care feeds into midfield. Toje. Ford to Mercer, to Farrell. See what he wants to do. He's found George in the end, who in the end had just straightened the attack. Mercer offloads well. Ford the same.
See the angle, the runners, they're coming back at the moment. Laws, first of all, just trying to straighten.
Pressure from the Japanese defence, though. But Noel showing his footwork, just didn't take the ball with him.
You all right there, Dan?
Referee's waved it on.
No, nothing clear, Phil.
Van der Vault. Nagare and then Leach. And through the hands from Japan once more. Another pass there, and England were being stretched. Daly's hovering as Leach takes them on again. What a magnificent performance this has been from the Japan captain and team as a whole. But Leach really is setting terrific standards here.
Ball's available, hold there.
Anise. Nagare. There's Lafaeli. 2 tries against New Zealand. A total of 5. Defeat that would have given Japan a lot of confidence, just the way they played in that match.
He's holding him there.
Defensively been much stronger in this game too. Elliot Daly, a little swirl on the end, the catch, but he made it safe and called for the mark.
Once again, Japan just getting through the tackle. Look at this from Nakamura. How many times have the midfield run into that hole, drawn 2 England defenders and created space, and with that space, there's Michael Leach sidestepping like Gerald Davis today. Or maybe Naya Milner-Scudder to some of our younger global viewers. Lovely play there.
He's inspirational today.
He's racking up some missed tackles on the England count, isn't he?
Don't walk in late, okay?
The smash is coming from Japan here. Fukuoka again. Gary to Heberdos had a wonderfully strong game, the number 8 as well. So to this man, Lafaeli.
Yeah, no, tackle not complete.
England having problem completing those tackles time and again. Japan have not been held, and they've just gone on and made extra ground. Anise.
Yeah, roll now.
Nagare. Nakara. Oh, ball lost. George. Elliot Daly. Now there's no one at home, and he's seen it. Slade and Thokinasinger after this forward as well. Yamada's done well to get there first. And Tupou is caught by Daly.
Go!
He's strong though, isn't he? And again, he just buys time by getting forward a metre or two. He's played very well, Tupou.
Another player who had a positional move from the New Zealand game. He was in the centre, now he's full back. So Japan thought about this, who they needed wearing what shirt. Wearing the England number 11 shirt. New man on the scene is Thokinasinger. It's good from Laws. Daly again, sees some space in behind. And Farrell's seen that as well. It's not going to be first there, though. Time for Utamura.
He's a strong man, isn't he? Thokinasinger. Certainly a bit more kicking from England in the first 8 metres of this half. Courtney Laws, we haven't seen enough of him from an English perspective. But then England switch, and Daly, like Farrell before him, looking for the space behind, but that's just too heavy. The weight wrong on that kick.
Okay.
Hepburn goes, Mercer goes. On comes Ben Moon for England, and also Sam Underhill.
Pull them all back. Yeah.
It's a bit of a cheer at that change. I presume it was for that man, Underhill, who was denied a moment of glory last week. The try that never was.
I'm sure there are a few people cheering the great man of Exeter, Ben Moon, Mars. But you're right, Underhill did become a national name last week, I'll give you that.
Look at a singer. Toje. Ford. Williams, I think, just got in front of it a little bit. No, wasn't. Tupou.
No, so ball still in.
Comes a Toje. One very effective turnover in this second half from Maro Toje.
20's offside.
Just the tackle.
20 is offside. Front of the hindmost foot.
And
20.
England infringed offside.
Now that is seriously poor discipline. That's not a penalty you've got to give away because you're close to the line. That is soft from England. It's a lovely kick that pins Japan in the corner, and England have just given them a free out and a line-out throw.
Just started in front of the offside line. Yeah. Let's go, please, gentlemen.
Carl Sinclair about to join the fray. Australia beat Italy by 26 points to 7. Of course, Australia come to Twickenham for the final quarter. Say that again. Final Quilter International next weekend.
The final of the quartet as well, Mars. I know where you're coming from. That's a very important result for Australia because they simply had to get a win against Italy. They've had a drastically poor year because in terms of results. As Sinclair comes on, and you would expect England to get a little more firepower and some straight running off his scrum half just to try and pop this Japanese defence.
Aggression there from England in defence. Wilson and Underhill.
Stop here, one.
All red in front, all red in front.
Sinclair looks full of life as well, doesn't he? But here's Daly. He always looks sharp.
You're too far back. Where's our mark, Torch?
If he takes them back.
Just past the 10 towards the Japan line. All of them were in front from the kick. You're on your side, Dan.
Where are we?
From the initial kick, all of them were in
Took him
front.
up there. I think he's okay.
All offside from the kick.
Into the corner. George Ford will try and drive this ball, and I wonder whether England will try and replicate the all-in collective drive that took them over the line against New Zealand, albeit on the other side of the pitch.
a strange atmosphere in the stadium. It was absolutely cooking last week. So second half against South Africa, amazing noise. England supporters rightly concerned at this point. We've had a swing low about 5-10 minutes ago, but not much more.
No, the ball is available.
Trying to get it going again, as are the team here. Right on cue. Here's a Toje. Care, Ford. Too risky, the long pass. Care again. And the penalty conceded. Holding on. And trying to keep it tight.
Holding on.
Very quick over the ball again, Japan.
It was from the kick. There were multiple.
They're not a towering team, and that can be a problem, though it hasn't been with their line-out that has been excellent so far with 9 out of 10. But when you're not that big, it does mean you can get over that ball quickly, and they have just wrapped it up. And if you look at the top right of your left of your screen, the penalty count, you'll see just the dominance Japan have had. A lot of those breakdown pens.
Last time Japan were here, 1986, against an England 15. England didn't award caps that day, finished 39-12. It was the World Cup meeting. It was a 60-point job for England, 60 points to 7. The first World Cup of 1987. Such a different story today.
Well, I played in that game in 1986, and we thought 39-12 was a massive disaster. Right now, I think this England team would settle for that. You could see England being forced to make so many tackles, twice as many as Japan.
Pass the ruck. Remember?
But the penalty count is turning now. Paul Williams gives another England's way.
Well, England will be wondering whether they can do a bit of a grind job. As the referee explains to Michael Leach.
Not quite the atmosphere of Brighton. There were so many Japanese supporters over for the Rugby World Cup. And of course, all the neutrals that day sided with Japan in no uncertain terms.
I remember, Mars, I was commentating on Canada v Wales, Canada v Ireland in Cardiff, and it was half-time when I came back, and there were Japanese journos, their worst job in the world that day, and I said, your boys have done really well, and it wasn't until 10 minutes from the end I stopped writing my copy. I thought Japan could win this, and you just didn't feel it could happen, and they kept playing and playing, and they haven't stopped yet today.
Watch it again in the build-up this week. Purpose of research and all that, you know, that finish of the game, still, even though you know the result, it is heart-stopping. It really is. But England in a scrap here, trying to fiddle a few points from here and there, try and edge in front. We talked about those big victories by England over Japan in the history books. Well, they would take any lead here, any slender lead. Very interesting. Farrell, undoubtedly England's first team kicker. He's on the field, but George Ford is kicking. Why? Because Jones wants to replicate here. What is happening if Farrell isn't going to be his 10, if Ford is his 10, and he's kicking for goals? So Farrell doesn't take over the kicking. Ford, under some pressure at the moment, is asked to turn those chances into points, and he does. All week, England have been thinking World Cup, trying to replicate that kind of tight turnaround. Players went home, came back into camp a little bit later. Just the 2 sessions of any note. Bit of Japanese food brought into camp as well to make them feel like it is in a year's time. Well, this is a bit of a World Cup pull moment now for England. Feel like it did for South Africa back in 2015. Japan staring them in the face, saying, what are you going to do about it? We're not going to go away. Just a bit of a momentum swing, though, in the last 6-7 minutes, isn't there? Because
Michael Leach's team have been conceding a few penalties, and it's given England very easy territory.
Forward right on the gain line. Knew it was coming. The ball and the tackles. Kerr nips in, Daly joins in. Caught the end by Anise. Round comes Farrell, and out it goes to Noel from George. Kerr to Sinclair. Now a Toje. Kerr finding the big runners here. Carrying effectively into the heart of the Japanese defence. Henry Slade. England got quite narrow.
Good play, Sinclair.
Ford again attacking inside. Good ball. Wilson. That breaks the tension for the England supporters. It's Mark Wilson going in for England for the first time.
That's a very good try. Carl Sinclair's intervention is seminal in that. You'll see him clap the ball. He wants that, and it's a really quick ball. Superb. And this time, England are getting quick ball from Danny Kerr, not slowed down. Ford just pulls his man wide, and Mark Wilson, having another hard-working day, this time at 7, is just supporting on the inside shoulder there. But Sinclair and that little pop just changes the perception of what Japan are trying to do defensively. Lovely play here. Little clap, give me the ball. Ah, good pass there to Underhill. And England are getting quicker ball, and Ford is able to play where he's so confident on the gain line, and Wilson just powers over. A really well-constructed try there from England.
And in the early parts of it, lovely hands there from Sinclair, as you say, onto Underhill. And then the quick recycle, which is important. England haven't had that this afternoon. In the early part of it, the smash that England wanted to see was all there. Here's Ford. England now in front, and further so. Oh, Wilson's try. Richard Wigglesworth has come on at scrum half.
It's a lovely combined piece of play by those two. Underhill picking the straight line off Sinclair. Ford just flattering, just flirting with the defensive line, and he knows the inside support's there. He's earned that, Mark Wilson, because he's had 2 very good internationals, and he's been solid again, wearing the 7 shirt.
Important moments these now. As we approach the hour mark, Hendrik Tui on for Japan. Off goes Kazuki Himeno, who really did contribute. Tui's good, good man to have in reserve. 3rd on the list of Japan forward try scorers in their history. It's recommended to the Queensland Reds by no less than George Smith. Here's Will Tapu. And a touch for Hendrik Tui.
Driven backwards at the moment, Japan. Good defence from England. Bit more intensity, but again they concede.
Raffaelli. Inagaki.
Leave it now.
You know what Ireland and Scotland are, or will think about this. I think they've got a bit too much on their minds today. Certainly Ireland with that match against New Zealand, but both in the Japan pool. Lovely hands there from Raffaelli, and Leach popping up in that channel again. Yamada.
Stop! No, onside.
Amazing light show around the ground as people have got their phones out, put their lights on. Like we've suddenly gone into a concert hall. But the rugby gets the attention here as Noel has it. It's rather kicking the ball away, but as it's not dealt with cleanly, Mark Wilson might make something of it here. And the knock-on gives England the chance to set up another attack.
It's a disappointing error from a Japanese perspective there. This is the game they've loved to play. Lafayette, I mean, the centre partnership has been excellent, hasn't it? Lafayette and Nakamura, in all sorts of ways, either carrying up right or just unloading these soft little passes. The lines are very good. Lafayette, again, that left hand just to step in, and there's Leach on the charge, where he has been pretty much all day. He stood on the flank, but don't think he hasn't worked his socks off. There is a rare error from Nakamura, who's gone well. Budokan, do you think? Concert hall? An old album of mine, Bob Dylan live in Budokan. Roll back the years.
Red, clear collapse.
Good drive from England. Wilson back in that number 8 role. Farrell, let's see what happens here. And Slade is after this and trying to slide onto it. But well played by Tupou. There's no advantage for England.
Farrell's added something since he's come on. I mean, that was an extremely clever little kick. Just putting big pressure on Japan. They're turning them. They're running straighter lines. Just change the game plan. It's so much less lateral than the first half. And again, a reminder that England are seeing this not just as a one-off Twickenham occasion, but also a game that they really want to win, and they're seeing it with Ford as their kicker.
Good control from Wilson. And there's that kick from Farrell.
Yeah, that's a really good kick.
A no-look kick.
Yeah, but that's rugby awareness, isn't it? He knows when he gets that ball, the pressure's on him. He knows there's a line come up fast. There's space somewhere.
Important score this, if England get it. Just gives them that two-score breathing space. Ford knows that. Can he nail it? He can. Gain line.
Yeah, just looking at the last try scored by England with Mark Wilson, just looking at Courtney Lawes' contribution, he just looked at using his outside in running line as we saw in the first half and playing at the forwards, but not just that, his ability to get over the gain line, it's also his hands. I mean, look, he looks like a 13 in the back line, just setting it up for the backs. Beautiful play there by Courtney Lawes.
His hands really have improved in the last year or so. I think that's an element that as he's worked on under Jones. He's a very comfortable footballer now, not just a battering ram in defence, and a very good line-out forward.
And a very versatile member to have in your team. Back row, second row.
Centre, with hands like that.
He'd probably do a very good job of it. Gary, 5'5", just like the man who replaced Tanaka. Both of them just over 11 stone. A little bit bigger is Kujiwon. And De Vault. Japan going in search of a score here, which will keep them right in it. Van der Veld again. dropping off those tackles now. Is that a little bit forward? Maybe, but here's Fukuoka. Leaves the ball, Daly comes in.
Knocking off Black first.
And it was a knock-on.
How well has Tupou played there? There's been a number of Japanese players who really impressed with their running lines and their hands. That's superb. Very good tackle as well from Jack Knoll. Has to make that one.
Yes, that one from Nakamura. That was a little bit borderline, you felt, but that is lovely.
Super tackle as well, isn't it, from Knoll. Daly's there, but the danger is that inside offload. You can see it there. McGarry is there and now just brings him down. A Devon heifer.
This Japan team pride themselves on their fitness and their togetherness and staying in the contest, and that is exactly what they're doing again here, and they're going quickly. Fukuoka. Nagari. And again the scrum half. England backpedaling. Nagari keeping it going. Here's Tui. He's going to have to do this on his lonesome for a while until Yamada contributes. Kujuan with that run. Back to where they spent so much of the first half, near that England line. Inagaki.
Leave it now, you lost your
You always sense, though, that they've got the ability and the precision to strike when they get close.
Let's see if Japan can do it once more. Set up some finish here. Van der Waalt. Nagari and then Anise. Nagari to Tamura. Tamura, there is that potential ability to strike. Those quick feet in those situations. Lafaeli too.
That is a big one for England. That is a big breakdown penalty.
You can hear in their reaction what they felt about that, and see in the reaction of the Japanese players. Will Tupou.
They have caused, Japan have caused England no end of problems, though, haven't they? They've punched that gain line twice as much as England have, almost. And England have missed a lot of tackles. Super feet. Quite often they've found that space, haven't they? They've targeted between two England men, and they've either got halfway through or all the way through. Really good.
Japan making a couple of changes. One of them at hooker. Suto Muwahi.
That's one.
Wigglesworth. Not going to sing it. Eyes on the ball, and he's done it again to find Georgia. That's a lovely piece of support play from Wigglesworth. He's got inside. Not going to sing it. Wow.
Well, that's Richard Wigglesworth at his best. He doesn't have the pace to go there, but he's so aware of what's coming. What a big moment for the big man from Bath. Joe Fukuoka scores, but this is a very good box kick. It's hanging up on the breeze. Japan can't handle it this time. It just bounces into Jamie George, who once again gives a key pass. Wigglesworth done well, and the big fella, he's too strong. Two Japanese men, one winger, but he's over. Jamie George, he's such a smart footballer. He's always alert to what's around him. What's around him is a very powerful finisher. Wigglesworth pays his pass, and England have just about quelled the Japanese storm here.
Thought the meteor or show was tonight. Some sparks flying there, all right. And Joe Thokanasiga showing what he can do, both aerially and then the obviously pace to get there. You'd expect that from a winger, but the power at the end of it. So taking two with him. England have turned this around.
He's done well, everything he's had to do. Thokanasiga, excellent. Ford, question marks about his control, but his goal kicking has been very good.
As it is again. Double the points, England. I'm sure they've been double the side in comparison to Japan today. Anything but they will take the situation as it starts to emerge now. And it is of their creation. Well, this try certainly was a good creation.
Yeah, Wigglesworth with a box kick, and Wigglesworth was the man up there in support to give the scoring pass.
There goes Slade. He's got the bounce.
Knock on black. Knock on black.
Yuman Matsuda for Japan. Had very little space to work in, so too Nagari, just runs out of space there. Thought he cheekily glided his way up the line, but referee calls them back. Henry Slade, he's got that lovely smooth elegance to his rugby. You saw it there.
Things are just starting to break England's way. He's got a lovely touch on that left foot of his either, hasn't he? Either hitting that ball a long way or the subtle little soft touch, which you'll see here. Look, there's no pass on the inside. He's looked twice, so let's just kick that ball.
Okay.
20-0 this second half to England. They've turned it around, haven't they?
Dylan Hartley back on. Emerged in the first half when Jamie George went to the sin bin. Koki Yamamoto for Japan into the front row as well. Japan, have they got something special here? We've had another no-look pass from Lafa-Ali. His offloading today has been something to behold.
Centres have been brilliant together.
No, off feet now, leave it.
And also steps in to sort out the situation. England supporters know that they're happier. Australia to finish it all off next week. And England will want to head into that game as possible way in these final few minutes. Keep Japan out if they can. Nakamura.
No, lost out.
Another player brilliant today. Looks like now in defeat.
Tackle.
But brave blossoms indeed. Japan, Fukuoka to Leach, and nobody braver, nobody better really than Leach. He's been simply outstanding. But England have swung it back their way. The penalties have started to come their way, and Owen Farrell, of course, has been on in the second half. I think, Clive, you want to make a point on that, Clive?
Yeah, just picking up Stuart Miles, what he's saying about Farrell, 20-0 second half. I just feel the moment he came on at half-time, that was the whole game changes. This guy adds just massive intensity. Every time there's a break, he goes to the players, and everybody seems to up their game. And the second half, he's just dominated because he just brought intensity to the team. And I said the moment he came on, we look at a different team. I still think he's better at 10, but him on the field, the whole game changes for England. And That's been the difference. Sinclair's been very, very dominant, but Farrell is the guy who's really turned this round for England.
Yeah, this has been a second half where the bench have gone really well.
And talking of bench, young Ted Hill is on first cap, 19 years of age. This is first season of Premiership rugby. 2.5 hours he'd had of it before he was called into the England squad as one of Eddie Jones's, as it calls them, apprentices. But the apprentice now has his cap.
2.5 hours, did you say? That's ridiculous. Good luck to him.
Impact. Forward scored a couple of tries straight away. And he's part of this drive now for England. Final 5 minutes. They look to put a bit of gloss on it. Comprehensively won the second half, which is going to take them to victory in the match. But they're keeping it on the move. And Farrell says, OK, let me join in. 0-2. And that is it.
And the crowd know that is it. We don't even have to have a TMO to check if that's a score or not. Courtney Laws, lumbers back, job well done. Harley gets another one. He's on a roll, Miles.
Making a habit of it. There is rejoining his forwards after an excellent take at the line. It all worked perfectly, and then it just kept on the move. Not scored many tries over the years. Hartley just his fourth, considering he's played now 96 games for England.
Yeah, downward pressure on the first one.
But that's 2 in 2.
Great officiating as well there, in a perfect position. You can see the knee on the ground, making sure don't need to go upstairs, as the phrase goes. That's a try.
The referee's first game in charge at Twickenham. Oh, George Ford has kicked so well. That one gets away from him. Clive again.
I was just saying, Miles, you know, I spoke before about scenarios. I just hope Hartley's saying, OK, guys, 16-15, we're 1 point down against the All Blacks. We've got to get a score. Whether it's a try, but especially a drop goal. Can we just put this on in the game situation now? Can we score just one more score to win this game?
Just push themselves that extra bit. It's those little bits that make all the difference.
Easy.
Comes Laws again, but this time Japan go wide and find Yamada. Certainly the England players won't see it like this, but I don't think many would begrudge Japan another score at the end of this game. Such has been their contribution. But they will take a lot from this match. And their match against New Zealand recently, as Jamie Joseph said, they're the games that they want to play to get themselves absolutely ready. But here go England again from the hack downfield, and it's going to be Noel. Jack Noel, can he just keep up the momentum? Can he keep the ball in? Well, sort of neither on both fronts. He was falling down the stairs there, Jack Noel, as the ball was getting away from him.
Well, that would have been really cruel on Japan. They've been better than the scoreline with 40 against them. No one more so than Michael Leach, who has been a brilliant leader for them. He's been the pick of the Japanese players. We'll come back to the Englishman and the man of the match, the Quilter man of the match, in a second.
Exciting end to the game here. Matsuda feeds on. Oh, that's lovely hands from Tapone. Fukuoka is off again. Oh, Elliot Daly. Tapone in support. Daly gets up looking for more. And Hartley, I think, wants to get that ball out quickly for England to go quickly.
And that takes us to our Quilter man of the match. He's carried well, he's made some turnovers, he's looking a better ball carrier every time I see him. England should have used him more in the first half. Maro Itoje is our quarter man of the match for England.
England do settle for the line out.
Discipline a lot better as well from Itoje today. Handed some responsibility and he's risen to it. That was a wonderful piece of athleticism there, the way he just found that second gear to steal the line out. And that's Itoje doing what England will be wanting from him more and more through this season, carrying hard, fast and near the phases. Good steal as well. And there you can see, carried a lot, beat the gain line, made a lot of tackles, nicked a turnover. Good day's work for the Saracen lock.
Fine attack. Chance for England to let their imaginations run right a bit. Ford keeps it going to find Noel. But it's an interception for Japan. Tim Rafaeli. Oh, and then whistle goes quickly there. Referee's happy, just a penalty.
Just the left, be careful, please.
England do not want anything silly with the game on and the clock red. Japan tries something again. Comes Farrell again.
Knock on, and you're offside.
So the penalty gives England the chance to keep it going.
Finished the first half. Danny Kerr kicking the ball backwards over his dead ball line. England will finish this one. Trying to score, as Clive Woodward said. They tried to beat New Zealand in a World Cup semi-final, perhaps. Good kick from Ford. He's put them there. Part A done.
That's exactly where the former England head coach, now in our studio, wanted England to be at the end of the first half. They are now at the end of the second, not just on the scoreboard, but in their mentality and approach to this moment. Hartley to Lords again. Now, when is that working once more, the Northampton combination? So well oiled. Hartley's getting a bit greedy now, isn't he? They're going to sing a what's another. As England try and take it up to 40. We've been trailing 15-10 at half-time. Laws. Lost by Sinclair, couldn't take it on. Japan are keeping chucking it around. It was advantage. That will be that. And England, in the end, had enough to do what they had to do today. Next year they will be in Japan. Today they beat Japan.